I'm a true champion.
What's going on, guys? It's Sunday today. My weekend has been completely full of got to unplug this. My entire weekend's been full of playing with litebar IO, playing with cases like this, and stuff like that. But basically, what I've been trying to do since I put out the last video is play around with coming up with a cheaper option to build this light bar. And before, the brain looked like this, which is kind of expensive. So this is the original brain. This is the one that I use to run mine, and it works great, but packaging wise it kind of stinks because it's bulky. There's no way to really encase it because of all the weird geometric shapes. Like, it's the little purple board is taller, sticks out further than the green one, and it's only using one connection. Plus you have to get these custom made from Park. They cost $15. You get 3 of them. Then you need connectors, which you get 10 of each for $10. And then you need to get another Wi-Fi thing, and if you go to a Pi 3, it's more power. And then if you try to get a Pi 2, they're kind of out of stock because they aren't making them anymore. I mean, just kind of all kinds of mess. So I needed to come up with another option using more current hardware that was more cost effective, as well as a better solution. So what I did is I went and got a Pi 0 wireless with headers and this Adafruit RGB matrix bonnet. And with this, I can actually say there's a little bit of trade-offs with running this guy over this one. For one, you lose your wired ability. You also it's a little slower, but it does work. But this is total here is about $30, as opposed to this, which is like $90. That's $90 on a good day, and this one is about $30. So $15 board, $15 Pi, which is stuffed in there, and then I even made this little case to help me isolate it because it's just difficult to put in things. So this board, or this whole setup's about $30, and it's easier to package as well. You also don't need half these features, so I thought maybe we could feed it off of this 5-volt barrel connector, but after thinking about it, it's easier just to use the USB, considering the wiring spec and everything that I put up on litebar.io, or that video was based around using the power, the micro USB power, which is nice because that means that this piece is directly 100% plug and play. The only difference is it needs different software because this runs a different processor architecture than this one. This one's I think an ARM6, and this is an ARM7. So, like I said, it's a little bit slower, but as far as packaging goes, this thing is heaven because literally you can put it almost anywhere. You make like one of these little cases or something, or you could probably even find cases that'll fit this. And you just plug it into that little connector. Make sure I got this going the right way. Like that. And give it some power. And then you're golden. Something like that. Like I said, it's slower, so it takes longer to boot. Not much longer, but it does take longer. And it already has Wi-Fi built in, so real simple. So all you need for this version is a Pi 0 wireless header and this matrix board, and then the rest just works. Like I said, I got to put new software out for it, but this is version 2 per se. Same panel, same wiring, same all of this. It's just the brain changed. Everything else is the same. But that's yeah, that's the evolution of that. So if you're looking for $150 board using consumer parts, that's the ticket. This is a great idea, but it's really hard to package. So I'm actually going to swap out the one in my car for one of these small ones. And then I'm going to actually order another set of it, so that way I can give it to my boss and he can play with it with the actual small brain. There's a little lid that I got to make for it, but I haven't printed it yet. It's been a long day of trying to package everything and just totally get it all wrapped up and whatever. And I got to put the source code on the website. It does use some code from GitHub. Guy is his name. I can't remember what his actual name is, but he goes by H. Zeller on GitHub, and he posted all the libraries to work with these boards as a GNU GPL2, which is basically, if I were to sell this or do anything with it at all, I have to release the software or release the source code. So I do plan on doing that. But as of right now, I got to go through it. There's a lot I got to change on the website now because of this last 3 days of tinkering, you know, Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, this is where we are. If you do print your own case or little hole thing for it, like that, make sure you use ABS. PLA it has a much lower temperature threshold, and if you use PLA in hot temperatures, I have seen it as low as like 100 degrees. It'll start to get soft. It won't goop. It'll just get soft and it'll bend and do weird things. So I highly recommend that you use ABS parts. I'm gonna have to make one of these out of ABS as well, but that's another story. I gotta take a look at this. As you can see, it's working. Small bug. Basically, with me unplugging these, powering them back on, just unplug, plug in, unplug, that kind of thing. It kind of aggravates the system that is these Pis, because they don't really do well with saving things. So part of that aggravation kind of wiped out my saved file, which isn't very common, but with this kind of environment where you're constantly changing power and doing stuff like that, you can aggravate it. Well, I aggravated it and the code didn't quite handle that properly, but quick tweak and we're running again. So this is what the last 3 days has been. It's just me constantly playing with it. I actually found out there was a pretty large systematic problem, but I never really noticed it until I was working with a slower processor. So with that being said, I fixed that. There's a bunch of different tweaks to the way that the whole system works. I've been working on it for 3 days, and I think it's just about there. So I got this one I got to tweak, and then I'm putting out the new adjusted version for this, wherever it is, the big one. Which this is, so this is what we're going to be calling version 1. I'm still trying to figure out how I've gotten myself in this mess of, I've kind of boxed myself in. So it's like I'm going to have to start coming up with names or something. So either way, on the website, I'll make it very obvious which software you should be running for what setup you want to do, as well as tweaking all of the configuration, the build guides and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've been working crazy on this just to get it to a place that makes sense, because right now it's kind of all over the place. Friday, we're planning on ordering a turbo manifold. Let's cross fingers. And then after this, we'll be moving a lot quicker on the turbo build. I gotta come up with a list of things that I need and start getting them. This includes drain lines, feed lines, wastegate, blow-off valve, intercooler piping, intercooler, injectors, I mean just a ton of stuff, and we're just going to start stockpiling. This is the last big piece that costs a ton. To put this in perspective, this costs more than my rent. So this is pretty big, but hopefully we'll be done with all this expensive parts collection, and we'll be on the way soon. So yeah, so until then, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
I'm a true champion.